Welcome back to another episode of Unfiltered Journey. Here today we have a very interesting and a very respected guest from the bustling lanes of Assam to international training grounds in the UK and Australia. From confronting insurgency in Assam's most volatile regions to receiving the President's Police Medal for meritorious service and distinguished service. From a humble professor to one of the most respected IPS officers of the region as ever known. Today, we sit down with a man whose life has been nothing short of extraordinary. A man who wore a uniform not just with pride but with purpose. A man who resisted temptation, walked a thorny path of integrity and stood tall amidst chaos. But behind every badge and every gallantry lies an untold story of emotional sacrifices, of silent family strength, of dangerous frontline moments, and of lifelong commitment to serve. In this deeply personal conversation, we explore the soul behind the service, his rise from academia to the Indian Police Service, the lessons from global exposure, the unseen role of his life partner, his transition to the corporate world after his retirement, and his heartfelt mission today through the Shristi, Prabhat NGO. This isn't just a tale of medals and missions. This is the unfiltered journey of a guardian of the nation, a father, a husband, a mentor, and above all, a human being who never stopped believing in India's better tomorrow. Welcome to our nation's guardian. Let the story begin. Hi.
Hi.
You were among the 6 officers selected nationwide for international IPS training. What made you stand out?
Actually, perhaps I was considered professionally quite suitable for the training. The training was under Guru of Police Research and Development, and it was sponsored by the United Nations Development Project. There were a few workshops in our region, in the northeastern region, and I was selected from those workshops, and accordingly I was accepted, fortunately by Ministry of Home Affairs, and I was accepted also by the United Nations. So that was how I got a chance for a good training. And it was a training.
It must have been a very wonderful experience.
Wonderful experience in 2000.
In both countries, UK and
later on in Australia. Australia, I was selected by dint of being a senior police IPS officer, and it was under the Ministry of Home Affairs. So with the Sydney Police, with Australian Police, we had a collaboration training. In England, it was actually a training to develop special skills in community policing and how to enlist the support of the community, of the public, for participation in law enforcement. So that was the main thing. But centering around that, we had other professional subjects also.
Yeah, it's great. While you began your career as a professor in the district Dibrugarh, so what inspired you to shift gears and aim for the civil services?
Actually, just after my post-graduation, those days, we qualified for the job of college teacher, which was also informally called as professor during those times. I also got a job and I joined because I wanted to be independent just after my post-graduation. So when I started doing this job, I saw both sides of the job, good and bad. It was a very prestigious, very good job, and
Very stable job.
Stable job. But at the same time, I saw that it was not enough to take care of my aspirations. As you know, I was born in 1956 October. It is not much later after the Indian independence. And surely after independence, I think the values of the Indian thinkers, of the intellectuals, the love for freedom, the love for sharing freedom with the countryman, the love for development, the love for spreading good values. So those were a lot of things. The love for giving a secured environment for my nation, being a very good contributor to the nation,
To the society.
to the society. So those things were also imbibed by me because it was not far away from the days of independence. And so as I grew up, I cherished some of these, I cherished some of these aspirations. And in the college, I thought that I would be stagnated within very restricted, within a confined space. I wouldn't get a broad world to fit in to my, to actually fit in my vision to a broad perspective. So I was
Your
looking for.
vision has aligned with what you wish.
I was looking for dynamism, and so I appeared in the civil services exam, and I got selected for the post of a DSP in the state, and I accepted.
So as you mentioned, your journey began as a DSP in Guwahati.
In the Assam Police Service initially.
Yes. And rose all the way to DIG, covering places like Dibrugarh, Tezpur, Lakhimpur, Tinsukia, Sibsagar.
In several places.
Several places
in,
across Assam.
in Assam. I started my job actually after my training, after my basic training and district training. I first joined my job in Dibrugarh in a battalion called 7th Assam Police Battalion, where I was the first man. I had to take charge of the land and I had to initiate the development of the battalion. When later on, a lot of other junior officers and senior officers were posted.
That was in which year?
That was in 1986. So then, later on, more officers came and the battalion became a full-fledged battalion with about 1,000 men. So, after that, there was a lot of disturbances in the district of Dibrugarh. And to solve the law and order problems, I was chosen as a young officer with 2 companies of force, that means with about 200 men, to join the district force of Dibrugarh and help in maintaining the order. So that is how I started my life. And from there, I was selected for the district posting. I was posted as a sub-divisional police officer in another very disturbed district at the time, that is Sonitpur district in the subdivision of Biswanath Chand. I took charge of the post of SDPO, where I met a lot of challenges.
Very nice. So, what was the most emotionally intense moment in your service? Something like that, you remember? There might be many.
There were countless such incidents, and emotionally intense, there were quite a lot. But if I go to the very long history, then I remember that when we went for conducting some enforcement duties, very much interior in one district. then we used to get surrounded suddenly by some agitated mob, and those mob were generally guided by women, and behind the women there used to be a lot of armed agitators, and that was a technique to stop us from enforcing law. So despite all our efforts, it was very difficult to go ahead with our duties or to even come back. And so it resulted in some unpleasant situation. And for the sake of law and order, we had to undertake some coercive measures. So those were emotional moments.
So that, because the situation demanded.
The situation demanded.
Yes. So, what was going through your heart when you received the President's Police Medal for distinguished service?
I had two medals. First, the President's Police Medal for meritorious service, and then President's Medal for distinguished services, which is of a higher rank. So I was very much happy. I thought I am deserving for this, and I had a good feeling, and I felt it was a good incentive for me to go ahead in my beliefs and my duties towards the nation, towards the society, for the enforcement of law and prevention of crime. So I was happy.
Very nice to know all your experiences so far, and it must be a very enlightening topic for many young people today.
Yeah.
So now, you served on the front lines, but your wife stood by you through everything. How much of your success do you credit to her silent strength?
Well, in the police service, with all the challenges, and I must say that the challenges during our old times was really very tough, because there was a lot of constraints of infrastructure, of transport, of manpower, of weaponry.
Even the communication.
Communication was totally poor. There was no mobile phones, only the basic set from certain areas. So it was very difficult those days. And even later on, with all the complexity of our job, you need full commitment for the job. Morning to night, from night to day, you will have certain thoughts. I used to have a lot of thoughts for which I could not think about my home management, house management. So I needed the support of someone reliable. And who would be more reliable than my wife?
Yes.
So she took charge of the home,
Yes.
and I took charge of the defense and law and order and maintenance of the peace in society.
Right. Wonderful. How did you feel becoming the first Joint Commissioner of Police in Guwahati?
Actually, I was already serving as a DIGP, Deputy Inspector General of Police, for the Central Western Range of Assam, which included Guwahati City, Kamrup Rural, and also the Nalbari districts. So when the Commissionerate of Guwahati was formed in 2014, January, I was entrusted to be the first Joint Commissioner of Police in Guwahati Commissionerate, in addition to my role as the DIG of Central Western Range, including the other districts. So I thought it was a great privilege. In fact, my jurisdiction was much larger than the jurisdiction of my commissioner. So, which he also used to point out, how is it hard? You have a much larger jurisdiction than me. I said it is the will of the God, wish, and I will discharge my duties accordingly, sir. I am for you in a commissioner,
Yes.
and otherwise I am the DIG for the entire range. And I felt a lot of good feelings and on the fact that I was entrusted with this new assignment as the first Joint Commissioner of Police, or the first Commissioner in Assam,
Yes,
that
yes.
is in Guwahati.
Yeah. And it was that time it got 2014, it got formed.
So I was
Yeah.
very confident and I carried out my duties
Yes.
very smartly. It was nice. Law and order, crime prevention, and being a city, there used to be often complaints against police irregularities for those complex allegations. I used to take up inquiries when directed by the government. So that way I was very busy.
Yes.
Also, there used to be a lot of VIP security duties, lot of big, very national and regional games where security was required. Then there was some other proactive works like prevention of drugs, prevention of child labor, prevention of human trafficking. All these things I got a chance to give a leadership or a coordination that would help the society remove its pains, its evils, social evils, or the crimes, and give society a good space to breathe well.
Yes. And Guwahati being a very important city
For the entire
and
Northeast.
gateway to the northeast.
Northeast.
Yes. So now that we have a global exposure question. So, what did you learn from the training in the UK and Australia that still influences your thinking? Anything, if you remember?
Well, there I saw that the people are basically very morally upright. Here in India, we very often find our people are basically ritualistic in religion, following a lot of practices. But frankly speaking, we lack that moral uprightness, what I saw among the people in England and Australia, both among the police as well as in the civilians. Though my experiences were not very big, it was for a certain period of time. But then there, what happens, people are very clear about a merging between good and bad. Here people are confused or compromising. So enforcement of law or enlisting support of the people in enforcement of law is a little difficult in India. But in the West, people will not look at political parties generally. They will not look about political directives. Whatever is good, they will say that.
The principle
What is bad is bad.
high value system.
A high value system. And that is why enlisting support of people in enforcement of law or prevention and detection of crime is a little easier, smooth.
Yeah.
And then I found that people are generally very compassionate, caring towards people in need. So that is a general way of life, both in UK and Australia. In Australia, people are a little more exuberant,
More robust.
more robust. In UK, they are gentle. In India, we read in the history that the Britishers, they ruled us by dividing society, communities. But when I arrived in my first institute in central England under Yorkshire, our course coordinator, Mr. Graham Thorne, he received 6 of us right on the door to the training institute, which is an international institute, very big. And he immediately came to me and helped both my huge suitcases. You know, I carried those suitcases because a lot of warm clothes had to be carried, some reports had to be carried. So he carried it himself and said, "Follow me, Mr. Hawk." He took me. And I was wondering how they
Such a warm welcome.
and these people are giving me such a warm welcome. It really touched my heart. And as the days went by, I found that general people are like that, upright, having values. So there I also experienced the attention towards the children because they were very much concerned. I went there in 2000 in UK, and in 2012, I think, to Australia. They were very concerned of the next generation because the next generation, the young generation, they were unfortunately engaged in juvenile delinquency, crime, some small crimes committed by young children, but at times it used to be extreme also. Even in certain schools, students were found that they used drugs secretly. They stabbed their friend out of sheer anguish or of sheer sadistic pleasure. That of course happened also in Assam, in our India, where the teacher was stabbed by a student in a school. But there, all these things are taken very seriously. And there used to be one child officer who was selected from among the police, beautiful looking lady in full uniform with a vehicle. She used to go around 4 or 5 schools inquiring about the children. And wherever there was this sort of delinquency, she used to initiate the proper care and the law enforcement. Because for juvenile, there was separate set of laws. So I could realize that they take care of the young generation and try to remold them, reform them very appropriately right in time.
The seed and comfort.
And their correction. And their correction of their wrong.
Yes. So, if you had an authority or a power to replicate one international system in India, what would it be?
I don't say that our Indian system is anyway something less deficient. Our Indian system has also gone through various stages of conflict.
Yes.
Our Indian police system especially has in it such great experiences
Correct.
that it is rather the outside countries will have to study and find out how our Indian police solve all these crises. As I grew up, for instance, I told you that we had the influence of the new independent India values.
Yes.
So also, as I grew up, I can recollect that the first startling thing that I experienced was the Chinese aggression.
Yes.
In And since it was just close to Assam, Chinese,
I think 1990s.
62, 1962.
Yeah.
So Chinese suddenly invaded India and they came almost up to Bomdila.
Yeah, Tawang.
Tawang they have entered.
Yes.
And they were just close to our Assam near Tezpur, where the town was almost, it was vacated by people. So at that time, the government gave us instructions to dig trenches, to take shelter when there would be bombing. Then there would be a lot of MiGs flying over our heads in certain exercises. There used to be sirens often, and we had to close down all our lights. There used to be full blackout. So those kind of things we experienced. And we saw that there was a lot of nationalism, patriotism. And on the request of the government, we saw our mother, our auntie, and a lot of our neighbors, they were knitting woolen garments for the sake of the soldiers who are going to fight in the bitter cold of the Himalayas or the extreme places. And so we saw all such things. Then people were contributing money, jewelry, without any restraint. They had such love for the
However,
nation.
people could support them.
How to support the defense of our country. So those things we have seen. So those were the good things. But later on, we also saw certain conflicts. There was a lot of, food crisis, and then there were food agitation. Then there was a lot of concern among the local people in Assam that their resources were just taken out to the central India, and so they demanded that the crude oil should be refined in Assam. There was the oil refinery agitation. Then we saw the language agitation. The Assamese people, they demanded that Assamese should be the official language
To preserve their identity.
Their identity.
Yes.
Preserving identity. Then there was the Indo-Bangladesh War of 1971, where a lot of refugees, infiltrators came across and took refuge in Assam, especially. So that also raised a lot of issues, and is known as the foreigners infiltration issue, which still continues till today. So we have seen a lot of agitations, a lot of conflicts, a lot of problems, and in these we have seen how these were tackled by our police force, sometimes even with the help of the military, the armed forces or the paramilitary forces. And so when we entered our services, we saw that there was a lot of problems all over in our Assam and Northeast. We had to jump into all these problems and solve them. So these things were always there. There was always conflict. Conflict is always going on now as the complex days are going. And we'll have to counter it. So now how can I say that my Indian police is somewhat deficient? Because all the problems that came were also solved.
And it was tackled so well.
So well.
Yes.
No doubt new problems came. But one thing I feel that from the West we'll have to imbibe is that we should be upright in our values. We should be not only policemen, we should be instruments of law enforcement and instruments of moral justice. We should be able to understand what our Constitution wants. Our Constitution of India is a great charter. It has provided for a very freedom-loving, freedom, a free society, which is secular, which is socialistic, which is sovereign, and giving equality of status to all citizens without any discrimination.
Right to speech.
We have our fundamental rights. We have our preamble of the Constitution, which governs our lives. And our every administrator or policeman will have to be very aware of these rights of the people while discharging the duty and also protecting them. So, there comes the necessity of rule of law. Nobody in our country will have a special privilege for violation of law. That rule of law will have to be implemented. Though it is a challenge, it is really very difficult in the evolving scenario in India with so many political factors, socio-economic factors,
Population.
then divergence of various ethnicities is very difficult. But still, it must be our utmost endeavor to enforce rule of law. That will safeguard the real position of police. Because the law enforcer is also for the common man an instrument of God. We have seen a lot of villages being burnt, lot of people being made homeless or even ethnically murdered in ethnic classes. Whenever policemen in uniform somehow arrives those places, the people feel as if God has come down. Whenever there is a serious crime in somebody's home, and the house, the family feels reckless, they feel the presence of God when a good-hearted police officer, male or female, reaches them. So, I feel.
So it's a very excellent point.
Point.
Apart from being a great police officer,
Apart from our duties, it is our humanity and our religion of morality which guide us
that will also
to give justice and fairness to all citizens, to all people. Besides taking care of the weak, helpless, and also the children. So we should be very sensitive. So these are the important things. And I think in certain cases we have to learn also from the Western policing in such sensitive matters. But they are very much well facilitated. They have fixed working time. And then the statements given before a police officer in UK is admissible in the court. You see, even in the police station, they have got such facilities where a person can give identification witness just by looking through a pinhole without divulging any secrecy. But in India, we don't have such facilities. The witness will have to go to the court. And many of the witnesses, they are really scared. And they become hostile witness. That is, they contradict their own witness statement,
own views
in trial. Whatever they say before the police, they often say contrary to it because of their fear for life. That is, they become hostile witness. So these type of things need a very close study. And though we cannot be guaranteed to be so reliable as the police of the West, they have a very different high level of recruitment system also. Still, I think with change of time, more powers will have to be given to police. More acceptability will have to be given to police by the code of law. So these type of things will have to imbibe from the West.
And being arms. Very nice to hear so much of wonderful information. And so now coming to your love and life after IPS retirement, and now after retirement you have also moved into the corporate world in a MNC as a risk consultant for the Northeast region.
Yes.
So how has been your experience so far?
It was fine because the firm which this corporate where I had joined, I feel happy to announce that it is the ICICI Prudential Life Insurance, which is a big, robust company between a collaboration of India and Prudential of England. And for the Northeast, I am looking after the risk management. The corporate people are very courteous and they are very cooperative. They listen to me wherever I give my suggestions, my consultancy in my domain. And so I like it. And I am coordinate with the local police to see that the cases are solved wherever there has been fraud, wherever there has been digression, even sometimes against some employee who is found to be a black sheep. Though it is mainly against frauds, where I should keep a very close eye, and I also even informally I even guide the young police officers how to tackle a point, how to look into a complex situation. So that is how it keeps me busy also.
Actually, it's interesting how your vision aligns with what you did before, as a police officer.
Yes.
Even after retirement, some of the things are related.
Related, it is totally related, and I'm happy that serving a financial corporate, I'm helping them to stop or to plug loopholes, to stop any sort of pilferage, any sort of swindling of money that causes grave loss to the company.
So we'll come close to our podcast now with a little bit of two more questions that I have for you. And you have established the NGO called Shristi Prabhat in Guwahati, Assam. And so could you tell something about the NGO and how do you want your NGO to impact lives even decades after you?
That NGO I had
It's for peace and productivity.
Yes. I started just after my retirement in 2016, and formally we inaugurated the opening with a number of good citizens who were my close friends, and we inaugurated it on 23rd of 2017. 23rd being also the birthday of our great leader Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose.
Yes.
We thought that this is an occasion to begin a social service post-retirement on a sound footing, to make Assam, to make Northeast and India prosperous and peaceful. So our main motto was to promote peace and productivity among people.
Yes.
So accordingly, we started the NGO, and
I think there were many summer camps, activities.
a lot of activities for child development, for women empowerment,
Yes.
then afforestation in Guwahati especially, where there has been a lot of deforestation for constructions.
Even I think dropouts from the school.
Dropouts being saved and then remolded to the education system, and prevention of human trafficking, prevention of child delinquency, all those things were emphasized. And side by side, this was done especially for children who didn't have parents to look after them. In a sense, they belong to the homes of working class people, where the father used to go out morning as a rickshawala or a vendor somewhere or a wage earner, and the mother used to work as a maid somewhere. So they got little attention, and accordingly they had all the vulnerability to get exposed to the vicious circles of the city without the proper parenting and vigilance of the parents. So these type of children initially we started to give them some impetus, personality development, education development, so that they could stand up against the temptations of these type of vicious things in the society. And we found good results. So the initial children who took trainings from us, they have now grown up, and some of them are even smarter than us. We don't have room to help them further. We have to look for some other roles. Meanwhile, we also give a lot of emphasis for livelihood generation, for people who needed relief, especially in flood-affected areas. We don't like to give money or just some biscuits or food for relief. We wanted and we did form some self-help groups in those devastated, affected areas, and we give them, say, some handloom, productive items, some tools for working, and accordingly, we recycle them to the livelihood means, so that they could earn their living instead of just relying on relief. So these sort of things also we have undertaken. We have also trained some internees who wanted to take training for social service, and we are proud that some of them have even got admitted to foreign universities after producing our training certificate. Then we hold all the national days, the Independence Day, the Republic Day, to generate the feelings of nationalism, patriotism among the people who are with us and our neighborhood. So that is how the NGO has been doing. And sometimes in great catastrophe, as for example, some outbreak of big fire in the city, we go and help the people, especially in those cases with monetary financial help, because they are out of work, till they regain their capacity to go and work. So this type of helps also been given. During COVID, we fed a lot of families who were thrown overboard from the lockdown, and for about 500 families, we fed them with their basic requirements, say for about 10 days, like that, and in small amounts in certain other places. So this sort of work we have been doing. Our funds has been specially contributed even in ourselves or from our well-wishers. We could not get funds from the government so far. So, and I think, okay, as far as we can do it ourselves, and our well-wishers also help.
And
so
if your main objective is
fulfilled, if people are sure, we'll go on as far as we can do. So that is the thing. And the impact, what you say, what I would wish that the impact should be productivity and peace. Ultimately, we want from these works to generate such an environment and conditions which are conducive to good, to growth, to productivity, and to expansion and stabilization of peace. That is the main.
Definitely. Do you plan to do any kind of marathon run, or so say a 5 kilometer marathon run for the Shristi NGO conducting, promoting fitness and something like that? Do you think?
Exactly, we are not going for such things. I myself, I am also a sprinter.
Yeah.
I am a sprinter, as you know. And besides being a music composer,
Yes.
and
Songwriter.
singer and musician,
Yeah.
all these, my experiences, I have combined to understand the heart of the society, the wishes of the youth and the children. And that marathon, instead of that marathon, what we have done, in certain places, say in North Lakhimpur, in Mankachar, very distant places, in Dibrugarh, we have trained the youth to compete for armed police, armed forces,
Okay.
and get jobs. Because we want them to be productive. We want them to live in peace, give peace to their family by earning a livelihood. So that is how we have helped them. And in that, we have conducted marathons also. We trained them. So it
It
was
was a really an enriching experience. So coming to the end of the podcast today, where we have listened to such wonderful answers from you. Now that we have, the last question is, so any two quick suggestions that you want to give to the youth who wants to become a civil servant, a responsible IPS officer? So anything they should know before joining the service?
one thing is, in the service, they should know it is not a Raj, it is public service. They will have to be tolerant, very humble. They will have to appreciate the difficulties of the people. They will have to go for hard work, and they will have to sacrifice a lot of sleep, their enjoyment or their good days, they will have to sacrifice, and they will have to attend the public with priority. It is such a service.
Because they are the face of the power.
And the second thing is, entering this service is becoming very, very competitive day by day. So extremely competitive. So if they are really intending, they will have to know how they will qualify and what is the best means to get knowledge, information necessary to complete. So for that, they will have to labor hard and they will have to find the right direction. Nowadays, there's a lot of information in the internet, that there are a lot of coaching houses.
Yes.
Then there are also certain students who are so determined that on their own, they go on and compete and gain something. So, but it is very competitive. They should know. And for that, they will have to try and do the best whatever is possible. So these are the two solutions.
Yes. So, thank you so much for coming to my podcast. Thank you so much for your precious time also, and coming and delighting with such wonderful answers. And it must be a really a great message to the people and also to the society. So how did you like coming to the podcast?
Your podcast is Unfiltered Journey.
Yes.
Are really remarkable, and all your questions are very well selected and very well introspective.
Yes.
It has given a depth and meaning
Yes.
to the subject.
Yes.
which you have addressed. So I wish you all the best, and really I enjoyed your questions.
And I also
And I
enjoyed
hope
interacting with you.
that my answers will also serve the purpose for some people, some new young generation also, and maybe give information to others, important areas.
Definitely, it's going to really help, and your experiences are of great value. Yeah.
Thank you
so
very
much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Right.